Okay. All right. Lyle Lovett, it seems like I don't have to welcome you back to Texas because you're in and out of Fort Worth a lot, and we're so delighted that you are.
Well, thanks for having me on.
You're, of course, appearing here tonight in a non-singing role. Do people ever come up to you after, when you've just done an acting role and say, "Oh, I was waiting for you to sing a song"?
You know, I think it's nice when people have that expectation because that means that maybe they've heard my music. So I'm always pleased when people say anything at all, really.
Of course, you've done so many other acting roles. It's not like this is your debut as an actor.
You know, I feel so lucky that I've gotten to work in a few movies. It's such a great learning experience. But this is the very first time that I've gotten to do anything in a theater, and I'm excited to see what it's going to be like.
So it is your theatrical debut then?
Well, yes, ma'am. I guess you could say that.
This is based on real people. So tell us about the character you portray.
It's based on people who have been imprisoned, have been wrongly convicted, who actually didn't do what they were convicted of doing. And my character is a gentleman who was convicted of killing his parents, which he didn't do, and years later was exonerated.
But he spent all those years on death row.
Yes, ma'am. He spent all the years that he was in prison on death row. That's right, and he was ultimately found to be innocent.
The Exonerated is set in Texas. As a native Texan, do you have any anxiety about how Texans are going to respond to this?
No, ma'am. I don't have any anxiety about how people from Texas will receive the play, I think, because the play is, no matter how you feel about the death penalty, the play isn't really about the death penalty. The play is about convicting the wrong person. And I don't think there are any of us here in Texas who would support putting the wrong person in jail. This play points out that mistakes happen, which I'm sure we're all aware of. I think none of us, Texans or citizens of our country, are in favor of convicting the wrong person.
Have you ever visited inside a prison?
No, ma'am. I've never been to a prison.
Because I think, having read the script, I have not yet seen the play until tonight, but having read the script,
Yes,
it's a really dismal place to be.
It does. It certainly paints that picture that being in prison would be a dismal place to be, and for the people, the characters in this play, who were imprisoned but shouldn't have been, I would think it would be an especially dismal place.
If you had a chance to ask your character a question, what might you ask him?
You know, if I had a chance to ask my character something, I'm fascinated with the idea that he was able to maintain, to keep himself together during those years on death row, wondering if he were actually going to be put to death, wondering if the truth would finally come out, that he would be found innocent, but just how he dealt with the uncertainty of all that, and was able to maintain, to be able to come out on the other side and be a well-adjusted person with a family, which he is, to be able to come through that. I'd be curious to know how he did it and how he maintained his strength throughout the process.
You came through a crisis with the accident that you had, but I noticed you were just walking as chipper as ever.
Well, to hear you say that really pleases me. I tell you, I was so lucky. A couple of years ago, at home on the farm in Klein, my uncle and I got into a scrape with a 3-year-old Charolais bull, and he was pretty rough on both of us. But I was so lucky in that deal, and my leg was broken, but the good doctors down at Herman Hospital in Houston put me back together, and I just feel so lucky that the injury wasn't worse than it was to begin with, but that then once they worked on my leg, that it came out as well as it did.
So you have no residual effects from the accident?
You know, my knee's a little bit stiff, but it could have been so much worse. They said they put together 16 pieces of bone, and so it was a bad deal, but they did such a great job with it, and thanks to the good Lord, it healed up, and I'm able to walk around. I couldn't be happier about it.
It didn't slow you down for long, did it?
Well, thanks for saying that. You know, I did get to go out. I think some of the best medicine was being able to go out and work that summer. We toured. I was in this external fixator for 6 months, and for the last 4 months of that, we were on tour, and I think it was really the best thing for me, because it kept my mind off my leg, and made me feel good about being able to go out and do something I love to do.
You were on the Leno show not too long after the accident. How many weeks was it?
Yes, ma'am. It was a couple of months afterwards, and you know, they're so nice to have us on the program, and I was, you know, it made me feel so much better being able to go out and do the things that I would normally do.
I love it when you're on Leno or any of those programs. I just love it.
Well, thank you very much. They're always so nice to us. I tell you, it's such a big deal to get to do those kind of programs, and such a help to me in my career to be able to go on those shows and get to sing a song or get to talk a little bit. You know, it's always something that I appreciate getting to do.
And I must congratulate you on your Grammy nominations.
Well, it's nice of you to mention the nominations. I didn't win, but you know, it's always nice to get nominated. It's nice to get to go to the show and, you know, have a reason to be there other than just you know, kind of show up.
Well, Lyle, it's just wonderful to see you, and I'm just a fan. If you haven't been able to deduct that, I am a fan, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you on stage tonight in The Exonerated, and thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for talking to me. It's so nice to see you. I sure appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. He's going to move the camera around, and so I can do my re-ask questions. That was, I loved your answer to what you would say to him if you had a chance to talk to
Well, as I read the script,
Cook.
and there's a passage in it how he taught himself how to embroider.
Yes, I know.
And
okay. You're rolling? Okay. And then start to answer, but
Yes, ma'am.
I'll wave you off.
All right.
Okay. You know the drill. Who is this character you play?
The character I play is a gentleman named Gary Gauger. I can keep talking if you like. But
okay.
he was convicted of killing his parents.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Do you have any anxiety? Let me start over. As a native Texan, do you have any anxiety about playing this before a Texas audience?
Well, no, ma'am. I like Texas audiences, and I feel like that even people from Texas don't want to put the wrong person in jail for something they didn't do.
Okay. If you had a chance to talk to Mr. Cook, the man you play, what would you ask him?
If this makes a difference, his name is Gauger, Gary Gauger.
Wait a minute. It's not Carrie Max Cook?
No, ma'am. That's a different character.
Well, then my information was wrong. What is the name? Okay, here we go. If you could talk with Gary Gauger, the man you play, what would you ask him?
Yeah, I think I'd just ask him how he was able to do it, how he was able to maintain his sanity in prison for that long.
Okay. You seem to have made a full recovery from the accident you had a couple of years ago.
You know, I hope you're not just saying that. Yesterday, April and I stopped at Sam's restaurant in Fairfield. I'm sure you know it, on the way up here. And a lady in there told me, she said, "Oh, I can see you're still walking with a limp." So I was really disappointed when she said that.
I just love to see you on the Jay Leno show and the late night shows.
Well, thank you. Thanks. You know, I enjoy getting to do those shows. It really is it's a huge help, because somebody like me that doesn't get played on every radio station, doesn't get a lot of mainstream radio, to be able to go on those shows really helps us to reach the audience. It's a nice thing.
Okay, that should do it.